Thanks for joining me today. Um, it's been a crazy last week. I have been dealing with serious allergies, like, awfulness is what it is. But you can't sneeze when you take Benadryl because you're passed out. Like, yeah. So a Benadryl coma and doing as little as possible is what I've done for the past week. I'm still a little congested. I'm not sneezing all the time right now, though, so that makes a big difference. I feel like my allergy medicine is starting to even, my daily allergy medicine is starting to even everything up again. Um, so I just want to tell you a little bit about, where I'm at in my journey right now. Um, I'm kind of in a holding place. Like I'm trying to figure out what do I have, like um, the widow in Elisha's time where she came to Elisha and told him that she had already sold everything on eBay and didn't have anything else left, and she was at this place of lack. And Elisha was like, you gotta have something. What else do you have? And she's like, well, I got a little bit of oil. And he says, okay, well, go get all these empty jars from your neighbors, go borrow them, and just pour that oil, fill up the jars. So she goes and does it. And as long as she's pouring, the oil never stops flowing. She never runs out. When the jars are completely full, that's when it stops flowing. So I've been trying to figure out, what do I have as my own personal resource that I can do and use to have sustainable finances. Because I'm working 6 days a week right now. I'm barely making ends meet. Like, it's just enough to cover my bills. And it's, really frustrating because there's so much more I know that I can do. I just haven't quite figured out what it is yet that in the meantime that I'm supposed to be doing. I know what my calling is in life. I don't know how to get there though. I don't know the how. So in the meantime, what do I do? So trying to figure this out, and I've realized that, I've spent much of my life in this place of lack, which is a mental place. This is not that financially I didn't have enough. Um, it's that I always believe that I don't have enough, that somehow I am not enough, and therefore there won't be enough of everything else. So, in this holding place of trying to put my finger on what it is that I'm supposed to be doing, what it is that the next step to take. I have to provide for myself and my family. So obviously I have to keep working. I have to be sustainable. I have been provided for, though, in ways that is nothing but God. Like, she's taking care of me. She's rich. I know that. So I know she has an abundance that all I have to do is tap into it, that she wants to give to me. This past couple, like 2 weeks, I told God, look, I did what you wanted me to do, which was giving specific amount of money. And I was kind of like, I don't have this extra money to be giving away. My budget is really tight. And, but I knew that she wanted me to give it. Like, I knew. So I did, and I was just like, all right, God, I've done what you asked. I'm hoping that, I will be provided for, that you will give to me and sustain me, that, I don't want to do this to receive, but obviously there had to be this gap had to be filled from, just paying my bills perspective. And I already work 6 days a week, so there was like no more extra time to be working. There's no more days to be working. Um, and a few unsustainable, of course. Then these situations aren't sustainable, but a few situations presented themselves, which gave me that extra bit of income and then some with very little amount of time on my part. Because time's one thing I don't have a ton of. And I was just like, oh, all right, I got you. I got you, God. Thank you. I got this. So I know that she's taking care of me. I know that when I change my mindset toward abundance and having more than enough, the abundance comes. Having more than enough is. So I'm working actively toward changing that lack mindset that I have. Obviously being grateful for everything that I have in this moment because I have a lot. I do. I really do have an abundance. Um, I really do have more than enough. I just don't believe it all the time. My subconscious mind doesn't believe it all the time. So focusing on that, focusing on the gratitude of what I do have, what I have been blessed with, um, and trying to figure out in the meantime what skills do I have that I can apply right here, right now, as I somehow work towards fulfilling my calling that I know is mine. So Tabitha in Acts, I think it's like Acts 9, something like that. I was listening to it last night on um, my YouTube, or not YouTube, Snap, on my app that I listen to before I go to bed. It's a viewed version. So I listen to the Bible at night before I go to bed. And, or when I go to bed, actually, I set a timer and go to sleep listening to it because you know, it's been really interesting, actually. It's been really, really interesting. So I was listening to that last night, and I think it was Peter. They called him, the widows called him, and because Tabitha had died. And Tabitha had been a seamstress who had provided a bunch of clothes and stuff for the widows in the town. And I'm guessing like single women, and I would guess like, single mom if it was in today's time, right? So she had provided these clothes, and but she died. She got sick and died. And so the widows who were mourning, they called Peter and were like, hey, dude, come quick. We need you to resurrect this chick. Like, she's a really good person. She's done a lot of good in this world. We really need you. And so homeboy comes, and he tells everybody to get out. But, even before they do that, though, like, she shows him, the widows show him all the clothes that, like, she's given to them. And, like, I guess kind of showing them how special she is, how worthy she is, and how giving she is, how generous. And anyway, he tells them all to get out, and he resurrects her. And so now she's alive, and she can make more clothes, and she can help more people, right? And, all the way around, it was like a really good thing that because Peter, I know the town is Joppa. I keep saying Peter. I hope it's Peter. It might be Paul. I don't know. Um, but he ends up in Joppa, which is exactly where he needed to be. And so, like, the story kind of comes full circle. And it started because this chick Tabitha was a super good person. She was super generous. And she did what her passion was. And she did what she knew to do. She used her skill to change that town, that city. A bunch of people were brought to Jesus because of her being a seamstress. And so it's just more of the same of what oil do I have? What skill do I have? Um, I've always kind of seen myself as kind of a jack of all trades and master of none. I know a lot of stuff. You just don't know what to do with most of it. And I don't have a degree in any of it. So I feel like, again, it's that lack mentality. I feel like nobody would respect what I know or appreciate what I know or listen to what I know. Um, I don't know. So as I wait and watch and learn and keep working on this how to get to my calling, um, I'm trying to figure out what skill I have in my hands that would sustain myself and my family, um, to enable me to continue to be generous. Because, I mean, so many other people are so generous and have been so generous to me with both time, money, resources. And I want to be so generous as well. And I want to change people's lives and I want to help people. And I just want to love everybody and shout from the rooftops that they are enough, that we are all enough, and we all live in abundance. Anyway, here's what's distracted me. I'm sitting on the floor, so here's the distraction, just an FYI. This is the little girl. So I've been stuck kind of petting her the entire time here because she's like really demanding. She's an awesome cat. Oh yeah, and adopt a cat. There's lots of cats in shelters, by the way. Cats need a home, and they're awesome. Um, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will update as I get time.